What up, everybody? Rob the Mail Guy back at you with a video update here for the channel. Going to be talking about some new vinyls that are part of the collection, and one of those albums actually just came out recently, so I'm kind of excited to talk about that. I had pre-ordered this album, definitely was looking forward to it, glad when it came in. And I'm talking, if you see from the title up above here, Lathe of Heaven, their new album Aurora. It's their second full-length release. Here it is. Aurora by Lathe of Heaven. Great post-punk band from New York City. They blew me away. The first time I heard them 2 years ago was when they were about to release their debut album, Bound by Naked Skies, and pulled that one out here too, just to show for maybe those who are not familiar with Lathe of Heaven or this amazing must-listen debut. If you're a fan of post-punk, new wave, goth rock, gotta check them out here. Lathe of Heaven, Bound by Naked Skies. Released by Sacred Bones, and I had heard this on a YouTube channel called No Deal, and this was before the album was released on vinyl, right? The pre-order was still up, and after just one listen on the YouTube channel, I said, I've got to get this, and sure enough, saw that there was a pre-order for the vinyl, purchased, and since then, I would say this album I've listened to probably the most of any style of music, like death metal, thrash metal, black metal, goth rock, new wave, and my whole collection, even the bands that I'm a huge fan of, my favorite bands. This album, may not listen to the full album, but I listen to like songs from it, especially when I take walks. They have like playlists. I'm listening to this song, this album, songs from it quite often, right? Moon-Driven Sea is my favorite song off of it. And I've shared this before. If you're familiar with my channel, welcome back. And you've probably seen me in past videos talk about it. Got this on white vinyl. And I always wanted to see this band. They came to the Bay Area, and actually I talked to a guy. He saw them in San Francisco. They were supposed to play, I believe, in Oakland, but something happened, or I'm hoping they come back. I know with Aurora coming out, they're doing a tour. They got some shows down Southern California, but nothing in the northern area as of now. Love to see these guys in San Jose. I think if they played the Ritz, it would sell out because they're just amazing musicians. And Aurora keeping up with the great post-punk sound, new wave influence, influenced by science fiction, a lot of self-reflection, got some great commentary on society. And they're just very passionate musicians. And that's what I believe stood out when I first heard them on Bound by Naked Skies. I was just drawn by how these individuals can take the style of post-punk, new wave, and then just put so much passion and energy in making their own kind of brand, right? Their unique sound. And that's what it stood out to me, right? And when I heard they were going to put out a second album, I'll be honest, I was a little hesitant, right? There was a slight kind of concern, because I have come across albums, especially in the world of metal, where you'll hear a debut album and you'll be like, wow, this band, they have a raw energy, great sound. Second album, they kind of go away from that for some weird reason, right? They just don't get it, right? They don't keep what made them special, unique in the first place. They just go off the rails. And so for me, I'm thinking, does Lathe of Heaven have that in them where they're going to go off and this album's not going to sound anything like what I enjoyed about the debut? And I can tell you that was put aside when I heard the first two singles, Aurora and Oblivion. They did the music videos before this album came out. And I was impressed by the music videos visually, but also the sound. Like lyrically, Aurora is a great track. One of the best tracks off this album. The lyrics, the vocal presentation, the way just everything is produced, a solid track. Like to me, there's a lot of songs on here that you can tell what they did on Bound by Naked Skies, they pushed themselves, especially as songwriters. I think that Gage Allison's vocals and the lyrics, just everything to me just stands out. And the song that I really wish Sacred Bones had talked about more in the promo is Just Beyond the Reach of Light. That song alone to me makes this like a must-have album. It's such a good song. The musicianship during the track is just perfect. Everything fits, right? It just connects. And Gage I think he's one of the best singers right now in all of music. I think his voice, there's so much sincerity and raw passion and energy behind when he's singing, right? And it's tied into the music. So let's show off the, and if you want to see a full review, I'm going to leave a link because I can go on and on about my thoughts about this album. I'd rather not turn this into like a video review. I'd rather just, if you want, read my review that's on the blog, rockmetaltemple.blogspot.com. I'll leave a link because I'm going to have time to show, like, look at this variant. There's another variant too. I believe it's like a purple kind of color. They'll actually look cool, but I like this one. This is a nice color. They got CDs too if you're not into collecting vinyl. I believe they have cassettes as well. Go to the Bandcamp, Lathe of Heaven Bandcamp. Don't slow up and don't miss out on this. It's a great album. Probably going to be one of the top albums of 2025. Just like how their debut, Bound by Naked Skies, that was my #1 album if you go back and check my top 10 albums list. But look at this. Shout out to the people that put this together. You got the poster with the band photo. Look at those guys. Badass. Got the lyrics. Get a reel along while you're listening to the album. More bands need to do this. I really like this attention to detail, the artwork. Actually, the singer Gage, he does the artwork, and he's very much influenced by science fiction when it comes to his lyrics and his art. And a shirt I have, it's a Lathe of Heaven t-shirt, was really well done. He had done it, and it was inspired by, I believe, like a short science fiction story. And I thought that was cool when I read the description on the Bandcamp when I bought the shirt. And his art, he's done actually art for other artists too, because they're in New York City. I've seen other artists, metal, punk, that have used his work. He's done work for them, and it's pretty awesome. Actually, he has a project. It's like a crust punk band, Cathexis. He did the art for that. I want a t-shirt of that demo release. It's really cool. He needs to do that. Get on that. You see this video, Gabe. I want a Cathexis demo, the demo album art t-shirt, because that was cool art. The skull, that was awesome. But yeah, check it out. Lathe of Heaven, Aurora. Bound by Naked Skies too. If you haven't heard the debut release, check it out. They also have an EP that they had put out before. You should see them. I don't think they have any copies of that anymore. Maybe for those that missed out on it, re-release that like on a special EP. Get it out for everybody so we can have that. But anyway, let's talk about the 2 albums that I got. I went to Rasputin's yesterday, and Campbell. For those of you who are not familiar with Bay Area geography, I feel like I keep repeating myself. Campbell's a city next to San Jose. It's in the South Bay. To me, you really just go down Bascom Avenue. You're in San Jose, and then all of a sudden you're in Campbell. It all blends together sometimes when you're down there. But anyway, I like going to that Rasputin's. And I also like going to the Japanese Market, which is in San Jose. It's off Saratoga Avenue. If you've never been to Mitsuya, you got to go. They have a ton of great restaurants. Curry Life, it's a restaurant that's near the market. And in the market, they got an eatery, and they've got all types of good food. Got the manga bookstore. It's a great place. But there are some interesting things that can happen. Like recently when I went there yesterday, there was an old guy that crashed his car into the wall in the parking lot next to the market. Yes, this old guy crashed his car, and the thing is, he didn't move it, so his car was at an angle to where people had to get by, and it was a real tight, squeeze. And I went up to him, I said, you might want to move your car. He's like, yeah, I misjudged getting by the wall. Pulls out a pack of Camel cigarettes. I'm like, oh, okay, buddy. It's funny, you had all these like Asian people looking at this old, very worn out white guy. I don't know if you've been drinking, but he crashed into a wall, so that's all you need to know. But yeah, that was interesting. There's a lot of interesting things that happened yesterday in Campbell, and actually in San Jose. Everywhere was just interesting. I saw a couple fires going down the freeway. Yep, on the side of the freeway. California, this is what happens, people. They toss a cigarette, and bam, hillside catches on fire. Yeah, but the San Jose Fire Department, they were on top of it. And then Bascom Avenue, actually, after I left Rasputin's, oh my God, there was something else. There's something else I saw. An interesting homeless person wearing some spandex, and let's just say it was a homeless drag queen on a bicycle with a Milwaukee license plate on the little trailer in the back. But let's not even get into that. That was weird. Let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about, I saw a guy get upset. Must have been some road rage. Gets out of his car at a stoplight, goes to his trunk. I'm thinking, oh, he's getting a gun. No, he got some object and he chucks it at a car. Two guys get out. Then I go, okay, they're going to get a gun. No, they start walking towards the guy. The guy then drives his car towards them. Looks like he's trying to run him over. And, yeah, they were in sort of like a little strip mall. And I'm thinking a fight's going to go down. But luckily, there was no fight. The two guys got in their car and they took off down the street. Other guy flipping out in the strip mall. It was an interesting day. And it's just living in the Bay Area right now. It's very unfortunate that some people have to act and behave a certain way. And I don't know. I saw quite a few interesting characters, but Rasputin's Campbell. People were well behaved. So that actually is a shock, because some of my past stories there, it's not always the case. But let's get to the music. Enough talking about my crazy adventures. I could do a whole just channel on the crazy adventures when I go to places, when I just walk in my neighborhood, my community. I always seem to come across the unique characters. It's just I have a magnet. I don't know what it is. I was born in San Jose, and anytime I go there, there's always an adventure and a story. But anyway, let's see here. We got the Chameleons. Where Are You? This is the EP that came out last year. Kind of excited I got this because I had pre-ordered their new album, Arctic Moon, that's coming out this week. It comes out September 11th. So this week, if you're a fan of the Chameleons, new wave post-punk, I don't know how you haven't heard, but if you're hearing it now, I'm telling you this, go pre-order the album, or if you want, you can go listen to it. Well, it's going to come out on Bandcamp, so you can listen to it there first. But I pre-ordered the album. I know shipping costs. Shipping costs can be high right now, but that's for any album, even shipping in the U.S. But imports now, I'm seeing a lot of things going around. It's crazy. But this album, found it at Rasputin's there in Campbell. Where Are You? It's a great song. Love the guitar riff and the ending outro guitar part. Very catchy. But this is going to be on the new album. It's actually the first song listed on the new release. But they put this out last year as a EP, Where Are You? And then Endlessly Falling, it's the B-side. Forever, that's the other B-side. And if you want to look, it's on purple vinyl. You can buy this from the Chameleons. They have a web store, but like I said, you might have to pay for the shipping costs, which we'll add. Because I did the math when I checked it out in the store, the cost of what I paid versus if I was to have ordered it. And the shipping and handling costs actually would have made it more. So if you can go to a record store, music store that, you know, like Rasputin's where you live and find this, I get it. If you're a fan of the Chameleons, right, and you like to collect their music, and yeah, it's good album. Good EP. We got this W.A.S.P. debut album, man. I've enjoyed W.A.S.P, man, for many years. When I was in high school, I used to always tell kids, because I was the metal guy, right? Most kids in high school, the heaviest thing they knew was like Slipknot and Metallica, right? It made Megadeth, maybe. That was like the heaviest. They weren't listening to Deicide, Morbid Angel, Satanic War Master, and they weren't listening. They didn't hear about W.A.S.P. So that's where, again, if you want to know why I'm called Rob the Metal Guy, there's an origin story, I guess you could say. Because when I transferred to this one high school in my area, I always wore black t-shirts, and this one girl said, oh, there's a new kid. He's like a metal type guy. And my friend was in that class where this girl said that, and he came up to me and he said, hey, what up, metal guy? So I've probably told this story to people before when I had my college radio show at Sonoma State. I used to tell the story as that's how the name always just got tagged to me as, hey, it's Rob, the metal guy. But this album, because I remember when I was in high school, I would listen to I Want to Be Somebody, right? I had that on my, iPod. I was playing that. And this album's really just, to me, enjoy it. The Headless Children is actually my favorite W.A.S.P. album. I like to get that on vinyl. But this is cool. Got the artwork. Got the band photos. I know Blackie's still going. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anyone else from the early days. He's had so many people come and go. But hey, look at that. The variant for this, I was shocked. I wasn't even expecting a colored variant when I saw it. I just wanted the album, and sure enough, cool. Like dark. I think it's supposed to be like blood red, because that's what the Mortis. Oh, what is that? I have a Mortis vinyl, and it's supposed to be like ox blood red. I'm like, it looks kind of like purplish burgundy. I don't know. Plum, right? It doesn't look ox blood. I don't know. That's what they call it or something. But this was I was kind of surprised when I saw that it was colored, because I just, like I said, I wanted the album. Hellion, that's another good track off of this release. So if you haven't heard of the W.A.S.P debut release, I'd recommend it. And if you have, go see if you can find this on vinyl, colored variant if you want that. I'm sure they have just a regular black variant. Heck, you could probably find even original. Somebody's selling on eBay for $2,000. Yeah, there's those type of people, right? You know, you get an album. You know, one day, Lathe of Heaven, in my opinion, that their music's gonna be worth something, because they're just that good. And hopefully they keep it going, man. I'm looking forward to more music. I'm hoping they play in the Bay Area again. Come on, guys. Aurora. Right now, definitely seeing it as one of the top albums of the year for sure. All right, everybody. If you have any questions, comments, leave one below there in the comments section. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you like to read rock, metal, punk, post-punk, all types of music reviews, but mostly rock and metal and that type of world, check out the rockandmetaltemple.blogspot.com. You'll be able to, once you see the link for Aurora by Lathe of Heaven, you can check out the other articles in the blog. I've got a ton going back, you know, when I first started the blog after I had written for other websites. So check it out, everybody. It's Rob the Metal Guy signing out. Later.